In a recent video, I talked about design thinking and how important it is that we empathise with our customers from an early stage of the board game design process. If we're going to make a satisfying product that players engage with, we really need to understand the emotions that they experience when they interact with our product. In this video, I'm going to discuss one method of doing this by using a customer journey map. I'm Adam Porter. I'm a professional board game designer based in Wales. My most recent games were Compromat with Helvetique and Zooligans with the Happy Puzzle Company, but I have several more on the market and plenty more in the pipeline. The terms UX design and product design and industrial design are often used interchangeably. They're very similar disciplines, but each of them has a slightly different focus. In very broad terms, industrial design tends to refer to the design of physical products which can be mass-produced. Product design covers that as well, but it also includes digital products such as apps and computer programs. And UX design focuses on the user experience, or UX, when using a product. For our purposes, the definition doesn't matter a whole lot, but in this video I want to focus on the experiences that players have when they play a board game, and how we can promote positive experiences through UX design. We're going to start by creating a customer journey map. This means creating an image of the moods that a customer goes through as they experience each stage of the product. Now, I don't have a specific game in mind here, so I'm using generalizations and broad brushstrokes. Your customer map might touch on specific areas that I've neglected to mention. So let's start with the pre-game experience. This would involve hearing about the game, perhaps reading about it online or seeing images on Instagram or watching a video review, or maybe getting a recommendation from a friend. Anticipation is a powerful emotion, and a customer's mood is likely to be heightened while they wait to get their hands on that game. Buying the game is a real high, but it's a fleeting one. Pressing the Buy Now button gives you a momentary lift, but it passes quickly, and then you have to wait for delivery. Whereas picking up a physical copy in a shop is a much richer experience, but then it's hidden in a bag for the journey home to be played who knows when. When you get a spare moment, then you can get into the package. You can rip off the cellophane, start punching the pieces, sorting the components. And this can be a real buzz for some people, but for other people it's tedious. But the worst is still to come. Learning the rules, setting up and teaching the game. This is a real barrier for many players, and I think it's frequently the most significant barrier preventing people jumping into the tabletop gaming scene. But then the game begins and everyone gets a lift. Your turn is really fun, and the other players' turns are fun as well at the start as you observe and learn more about the game. But as the game progresses, you become less engaged in other players' turns, unless the game offers up some sort of interaction. But even that can be negative. Being attacked can be tough for many players. Some people find it hard not to take it personally. Others, myself included, just don't like seeing all our hard work being destroyed. Winning is a joy. It's not one I experience often, but it is a joy. Losing, on the other hand, not so much. For many people, losing is fine. It's part of the experience, an opportunity to play better next time, a challenge. But there are many people out there who find it really tough to lose. We've all seen children crying and throwing tantrums after losing at a game, and adults are no different. If anything, their tantrums are worse because there's no release valve. They have to keep it to themselves, to smile through the pain. This is another reason many people steer clear of competitive games. Who wants to carry bitterness around with them? Win or lose, someone's going to have to put the game away. It's not much of a problem if it's just a pack of playing cards, but if it's a big box of strategy with hundreds of wooden pieces, then it's a real chore. And then we're back into anticipation, chatting about the game and looking forward to the next time we play. Once we have our customer journey mapped out, we can imagine how the players are likely to be feeling at each stage. So here's an example. I've focused on the various anxieties which might be going through players' heads. I'm sure there are many more positive thoughts which I could chart on this map, but this seems like a good start. So pre-game, the player is consumed with the cost, the availability of the game, understanding the game, and finding other players to play with. In-game, their anxiety turns to not exposing themselves as foolish, not making mistakes, not asking stupid questions, as well as a million domestic thoughts relating to life outside of the game. And if the game's dragging on, then some players are going to be getting nervous. And as the game comes to an end, thoughts turn to what to play next. And did the other players have a good time? And are they going to want to play with me again? And how long is it going to take me to put this thing away? It's a good idea to consider where the pain points are in your product. Pain points are a vague and subjective concept. In essence, they describe any part of your product which customers are having problems with. In board game terms, it's worth thinking of pain points as any part of the experience which might prevent players from engaging. In my recent video about onboarding, I discussed the importance of engaging your players in order to keep them coming back for more products and to try and turn them into brand advocates. So let's return to our chart. Again, I don't have a specific game in mind, so I'm having to talk in broad terms here, but these are some possible pain points in a board game experience. You might be able to identify specific moments in your gameplay which cause a problem for players or dampen the mood. Once the pain points have been identified, we can start to look at solutions to overcome them. We can turn them into opportunities. Your players are struggling to learn the rules. Well, then simplify them. You could consider incorporating player aids or how to play videos, or maybe even develop an app. Maybe they find setting up and putting the game away a chore. There are so many pieces and they don't fit comfortably into the box. Or perhaps develop a neat storage solution where everything has its place. Compartments can be removed from the box and placed onto the table without tipping bits out. Everything is easily identifiable. Maybe your players are bored when it's not their turn. There's a lot of downtime in the game. Players spend ages thinking about their moves. You could reduce the decision space, give them fewer options on their turn, or increase the player interaction to keep players engaged when it's not their turn. And if your players don't like negative interaction, maybe they complain that they're always being attacked, well, you could explore other types of interaction. Positive interaction is where a player's own actions give kickbacks to the other players, additional resources, benefits, or actions. Maybe you've noticed that players hate losing when they play your game. They can spot the winner way ahead of the end of the game, and it makes the end dull. You could obscure the endgame scoring, make it impossible to know for sure who's winning, use hidden objectives or some other method of hidden scoring. Alternatively, make the game cooperative. Players can win or lose together. Or turn the game into a campaign, so the results of one game are not the end of the story. Okay, so you lost, but this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. In fact, the game gives you a leg up for the next game. You can incorporate a catch-up mechanism, so it's always worth carrying on playing. I'm going to keep coming back to UX design over future videos as we consider basic human desires and how we can satisfy these with our products in order to engage our players. We'll also be looking at identifying problems and developing solutions. So what have you noticed are the biggest pain points when interacting with a game product? And have you seen any board game publishers or designers utilising ingenious methods to overcome them? If you enjoyed the video, please go back and take a look at some of my others and subscribe to the channel so I can keep you up to date on any upcoming content. You can also join me on Instagram on Adam in Wales Design. I'll see you next time. Until then, all the best.